Hello there. Today we do the monthly trading wrap-up, which we normally publish on the somniumtimes.com website. We do it today directly from our Somnium Times headquarters in Somnium Space itself. So let's jump right into that. First of all, when we say a monthly trading wrap-up, what we mean is the trading of assets under the Somnium Space contracts. So that would cover land parcels, it would cover teleporters, tents, Somnium cubes, etc. It does not cover assets that are traded between users, so assets that fall outside the Somnium Space contracts. That could, for example, be crypto art. Anyway, let's have a look at the first chart. This shows you the total transaction value under the Somnium Space VR contract on OpenSea. And a Somnium Space VR contract covers a number of other contracts. It's like a wrapper contract. And it covers land, again, teleporters, etc. Now what you see here is for this year, or actually starting in February, and then March, April, May, and then this is June, the last number here. And you can see quite a sharp increase that happened in March, April, and that is something kind of mainly due to the fact that there was the 10-week road to secondary land offering campaign, during which Somnium Space put like 25 plus parcels on the market each week, and that triggered a lot of interest, and there was a lot of buying and selling and going on around that time. Obviously the numbers are increasing here. It's like it's the total value, right? So it goes up from month to month, and it's really amazing, like how big the volumes really are. Actually, we'll see that a bit in the next chart, but we had of course a really big increase in those months, but even in June we saw kind of an increase of 500 ether, or 500 plus ether, and that corresponds to still 120,000 US dollars. So just for the month of June, there was no campaign running at that time. It was just users trading parcels and teleporters, etc., for a total of more than around 120,000 US dollars. So that's still quite impressive. Let's go to the next chart here. Let's see whether I can get that to work. And this is the next one. This is actually showing the daily transaction volume for June. So you can see that's kind of pretty constant, in the sense that there's trading going on most of the days, also in June. We definitely saw that during the road to secondary land offering campaign, but also in June we see that kind of every day, and you can see a lot of activity here around these dates, and especially this one here. This corresponds to like 30,000 US dollar trade volume for that particular day. So it's still, again, no campaigns running at the moment, but let me move back into the view here. But really impressive activity. Good. Let's go to the next one. There we go. Now, if you look at it on a monthly basis, right? We've looked at the total, really impressive. We looked at the daily activity in June. A lot of things going on. But if you look at it on a monthly basis, you can see actually that it has, like, the volumes were really impressive here, and the volume has gone down here for June. Now, does that mean that suddenly there is no interest, or kind of what does this mean? Well, actually, again, I need to emphasize that the 10-week road to secondary land offering happened in those months. It was a 10-week period that covered part of, this is actually February, this is March, April, May. Those months had increased activity due to this road to secondary land offering campaign. What you have to understand then, that this is completely without those campaigns, and we see a doubling or more than doubling compared to earlier during the year in February, right? So this is because of the campaign, a lot of interest, a lot of new parcels put on the market by Somnium Space, and obviously that triggered a lot of interest. But this is without that campaign running. So still a really impressive volume. Again, this corresponds to around $120,000 for the month of June. So that's really cool. One more chart to show, and that's the one there. This is a bit similar. You see a little bit similar pattern here, but what we've done here, we've looked actually at Etherscan and not looked at the volume or the Ether amounts or the dollar amounts, but simply at the number of transactions that we see on Etherscan. Now that has increased, of course, again during the 10-week road to secondary land offering campaign, increased a lot, and that has like kind of going down because that campaign is not running anymore. But again, remember the total volume or the transaction amount was like $120,000, and yeah, and it's still pretty good activity actually going on, and it's kind of definitely higher compared to the beginning of the year. And yeah, it's actually really interesting, especially this here, what's going on when more parcels are put on the market. And that is something that will happen in October this year as well, when the secondary land offering will take place, and the remaining around 3,500 parcels that will be put on the market. So that's where we can expect also a lot of increase. Again, remember that that the charts here reflect the land parcels, the teleporters, etc. We know that there is increasing activity in Somnium Space with user-created assets, and that, for example, crypto art is created, and there's lots of museums popping up with crypto art on display that can be purchased directly from within the museums. So we don't have the data for that, but that's what we see and what we notice, and when we talk to people, we can see there is simply an increase in trading of user-created assets, and that is of course also kind of creating and fueling the Somnium economy. Yeah, we're looking forward to the months to come. What we will do is publish an article on the somniumtimes.com as well. Again, this is the first time we do this live or semi-live from the Somnium Space, sorry, the Somnium Times headquarters. But we will definitely publish the article on the website as well. Yeah, thanks for watching, and see you again.